I really had that moment of realization, like, wow, we're actually making such a big impact. My name is Adelia Kismatova. I'm a senior studying environmental science on the QES track and statistics and analytics with a minor in information science. I am originally from Siberia in Russia, but I've been in Cary, North Carolina for most of my life. My mom grew up in the former Soviet Union, and so I feel like naturally there were a lot of principles where you don't use more than you can. My upbringing with sustainability in mind made me think of environmentalism when I came to UNC. I am co-chair of the Renewable Energy Special Projects Committee. We're a committee that uses the funding from the renewable energy student fee that comes from tuition. And what we do is we focus on renewable energy, energy efficiency, and energy education projects. One of our projects is the Curtis Media Center's solar panels. The Curtis solar panel project started actually before I was even a freshman. Curtis was a new building, and so we were able to essentially conduct a solar feasibility report to see how much solar is coming towards this building. And once that was completed, that's when the solar panel project essentially begins. We did face some challenges when we were undergoing like the COVID era, and so the construction was slowed and there were a lot of basically bumps in the road that we had to go through. And one of those was actually that they ended up needing more money than they originally asked for from RESPC. And even though it did end up being more expensive than we originally planned, we analyzed it and got into communication with all of the architects, and we did realize that the benefits to it would outweigh the few costs. And so once we went through that communication process, we were able to refund it with a little bit more money, and it was able to be completed. The solar panels, they provide the energy back into the grid, which is essentially this place where all of the resources form one big grid, and you kind of pull from that resource pool together. So even though we are generating the solar as a resource, it's technically going back in with all of the natural gas, well, whatever else is in there. So it's not directly coming from the solar for this building specifically, but it does help make the grid less polluted with those non-renewable sources and more reliant on renewable sources. We are able to do our part for climate change because we don't have those emissions going into the atmosphere. If you look at initiatives similar to this at other universities, there's not that many, and for many universities it doesn't exist at all. So knowing that UNC has this student fee that allows students to work on this is really incredible, because you don't see this everywhere at all. And so not only are we able to make that impact, we're also able to learn in the process. Today was my first day actually in the building after it's been open to students. It's so beautiful. I love how modern it looks compared to some of the other buildings on campus. And it seems like a really great space, not just for even the School of Journalism students, but any student who would want to come in here. This was definitely an experience for me to help me build confidence and my own voice. And so I hope to take everything that I've learned here at UNC, especially clean tech and renewable energy, and be able to implement that wherever I go next.